Hello everyone. Welcome to BYK Book Summary. I am Amin. Here we decode the inspiring journey, mental warfare, and empire building life lesson of the world greatest legend. Today topics and their biggest secret are right on your screen. Let's dive in with my AI co-host.
10 lakh rupees. I just want you to take a second and really look at that number. Right? Back in 2013, that was the exact literal price tag that the Royal Challengers Bangalore slapped onto a 20-year-old kid from Karnataka. 10 lakh rupees for KL Rahul.
Now you might be wondering, what does a starting bid like that really mean? Well, it effectively asks one highly scrutinizing question. Is this boy actually worth the price? You see, in professional sports, a low entry bid is kind of the market's way of saying, okay, we're curious, but you're gonna have to show us something. And man, did he show them. Over the next 13 years, KL Rahul would answer that exact question across 5 different franchises, racking up a truly staggering 5,687 runs.
So, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tearing down the numbers to really look at the architecture of a true champion. We aren't just talking about a talented player today, no. We're unpacking the ultimate benchmark of calculated, relentless consistency in T20 cricket. KL Rahul's journey, it's an absolute masterclass in proving your worth quietly but undeniably.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. To really understand his success, we'll start with the professor's son, then the valuation story, the 5-season standard, resilience and rebuilding, the invisible burden, and finally, we'll wrap up with the real legacy. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The Professor's Son, a Calculated Foundation.
You know, KL Rahul's story is super fascinating to me because he comes from a deeply academic family. His father, Dr. K.N. Lukesh, and his mother, Rajeshwari, are literally both engineering professors. So for him, the safe, predictable path was obvious. It was education. It was laid out right there for him. But choosing the incredibly volatile path of professional cricket, that wasn't just him relying on raw talent. It was about immense, calculated conviction. He staked his entire life on it, and in doing so, he actually brought an academic's precision right onto the pitch.
Moving on to Section 2. The Valuation Story, from 10 lakh to 17 crore.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing how undeniable performance literally forces the market to correct your value. Remember, he starts at 10 lakh with RCB back in 2013. By 2014, SRH recognizes that potential and bumps him up to 1 crore. Then, boom, 2018 hits and Punjab bids a massive 11 crore. And by 2022, he's leading the Lucknow Super Giants for 17 crore. And listen, this wasn't because of flashy PR or clever marketing. This sky-high valuation was driven purely by sustained, professional delivery year after year.
Section 3. The 5-season standard, sustained delivery over hype.
So, let's actually look at the runs that justified those massive price tags. KL Rahul is the only Indian batter, the only one to hit 500-plus runs in 5 consecutive IPL seasons. From 2018 to 2022, he was a machine, including hitting a massive 670 runs and winning the Orange Cap in 2020. Having one great season is, it's just form. But maintaining this exact standard across 5 whole years, navigating through team changes and, oh yeah, a global pandemic, that is an unrelenting standard of excellence. It's infinitely harder to achieve than just having one flashy viral year.
Just put yourself in his shoes for a second. Imagine being bought for 11 crore in 2018. The critics are super loud, wondering if you're worth it. So how do you respond? Well, in his very first match for Punjab, he stepped out and smashed 50 runs in just 14 balls. He completely shattered Sunil Noren's record for the fastest half-century. There was no settling in period. It was just a massive, undeniable statement that silenced literally everyone instantly.
Which brings us to Section 4. Resilience and Rebuilding, the Crucible of Injuries.
Look, in professional sports, setbacks are just inevitable. In 2017, a devastating shoulder injury cost him the entire season, right as he was peaking. And then again, in 2023, a serious thigh injury sidelined him during some incredibly crucial games. But here is exactly what separates the greats from the rest. He didn't just passively sit around and recover physically. He actively used these quiet, frustrating periods to meticulously retool his technique and his mindset. He made absolutely sure that every single time he came back harder. And what's the ultimate payoff of that intense rebuilding phase? 152 not out. In 2026, playing for the Delhi Capitals. Right when some folks were starting to whisper that maybe his best days were behind him, he goes out and achieves the highest individual score by an Indian batter in IPL history. Talk about an absolutely staggering, undeniable comeback.
Section 5. The Invisible Burden, Beyond the Bat. And this brilliantly illustrates a point we really need to talk about. To truly understand his value, we have to look way past the run columns. I mean, he doesn't just open the batting. He takes on the incredibly grueling physical and mental load of keeping wicket in the blistering Indian heat. He's managing DRS calls, adjusting field placements, the whole shebang. Then he literally takes off the pads and walks right back out to open the batting. On top of all that, he took on the captaincy for a brand new franchise, LSG, and built them into a playoff team in their very first year. The sheer stamina required to do all of that simultaneously is just mind-boggling.
As our source material perfectly notes, versatility is the most underrated quality in professional cricket, and KL Rahul, he is the ultimate quietest champion in the room. You literally never hear him complain about shifting from opener down to the middle order, or putting on the keeping gloves, or moving across different franchises. He just puts his head down, figures it out, and gets the job done, perfectly adapting to whatever system he's placed in.
Okay, let's wrap this up with Section 6, The Real Legacy, 5 Lessons of Consistency. So pulling from his 5,687-run journey, here are 5 really powerful takeaways we can actually apply. Number 1, your value isn't announced, it's demonstrated over time. Number 2, setbacks and injuries, they're only temporary if you focus on the rebuild. 3, versatility. Being able to wear multiple hats without a fuss is a massive superpower. 4, long-term consistency is always going to beat a flash of raw talent. And finally, number 5, being underrated is just a phase. Let your performance be the final answer to your critics.
So I want to leave you with this final thought as we wrap up today's explainer. In a world that is just utterly obsessed with noise, PR stunts, and going viral, is quiet, relentless consistency actually the loudest statement of all? Seriously, think about how that applies to your own work. The true value of a quiet professional is undeniably proven over time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep learning, keep pushing, and I will catch you in the next explainer.
So friends, that was the complete breakdown. Make sure to take a screenshot of this growth gift, this infographic, so this lesson stay with you. If you want to learn from legends every single day, join our community. I am Amin. Always remember, read more, think deeper. Let me know in the comments who we should cover next. See you in next episode.